Hey everyone, welcome back to Painted Studio. I am, as always, your host Maury Curtis Dunbar, owner and creative mess maker here at Painted Studio. Oh gosh, things just pop up my screen even when I change the settings. So it is a beautiful sunny Saturday. We are slowly reopening here in Illinois. I'm very grateful for that. We've had a really nice couple of days here. The protests that we've had locally have been wonderful and supportive and very, very peaceful and very, very positive. So that's a great start to the weekend. And what we're going to work on today, we're going to do a whole bunch of patriotic stuff. Now we have a couple of tumbler shapes that you may not have seen before unless you've looked on our website. So you've seen the 20-ounce coffee ones, you've seen me do the wine Yeti, but we also have this 20, I think it's 19 actually, ounce, let's see if it tells me what it is, 19-ounce cup, thermal cup with a straw. This is designed really for cold beverages because there's no sipping lid out of here, but it does have the stainless steel lid on it too. So first thing I'm going to do is take this label off the bottom that was the part of the shipping information, so that I can deal with the bottom of that. I meant to take it off before. These cups are BPA free. There's no bad stuff in them. They are aluminum. They're double walled. They're thermal. They're really nice. I don't know what I was going to say there. Do not put these in the dishwasher. Even unpainted, these thermal cups are not designed to go in the dishwasher. Because they retain heat and cold, you don't want to put them in the extremes unless you're pouring something in them. So the next thing we're going to do, you can see I got my label off, everything's cleaned. We're going to open it up. Now this has a screw lid to it. Oops, take the straw out. As you see, it has a screw lid. Oh, hi Susan, nice to see you. So this actually makes this a super secure cup. So you can turn it and it locks in, no knocking it over, which is another thing I like about it. Of course, if I screw it in too tight, I actually can't open it. So we're gonna prep and create on these. I have one working in the hot box. For those who don't know what a hot box is, the hot box is the place I put things here in the studio to implement faster drying. Most people don't need them. We use them here in the studio because we rush projects and stuff here so that you can see them on lives. All right, so let me put this down so you can see me. I don't have my iPad here. I'm looking at the camera, so if I don't see your questions right away, do not hesitate to write them again, and I will answer them. I promise. If I don't ask them and answer them in person, I will answer them once we post the video and I've read everything. Okay, so you can see this is stainless steel, and to prep these to be foiled and then have epoxy on them, the first thing you do is sand. Not a lot, but you want to break any surface tension. You don't want it slick, you want a little tooth. Make sure to get the bottom if you're planning to do the bottom, and make sure to get the lid too, because we're going to do the lid. Now, I'm going to talk about, let me get my alcohol. Once I've sanded that lightly, I'm going to spray it down with either, you can use denatured alcohol or you can use isopropyl alcohol. You want to remove any of the metal particles, and you want to remove any oils that might be on the surface, which happens. Metal is tooled with lubricant on it, so either silicone or oils. So you definitely want to wipe it down because then you get that off of there. Clean the bottom. We're gonna wipe the top. We got a bunch of different projects going on. I'm going to be doing lives kind of on and off all day. Whatever I don't get to in this one, we're going to do a live on Artistic Painting Studios page at 4 o'clock, and I might even follow up on that one afterwards. You never know. All right, so I have scuffed it and cleaned it, and now I have to put a primer coat of paint on here so that the adhesive that we're going to use for foils on it will bond better. I am using Set Coat Metallic Navy. Why? Because we're doing 4th of July patriotic projects, and I like this Set Coat Metallic Navy. It dries super hard, it wears really well, and I just take it like this I'm just going to put a single coat on the whole surface. I need an extra good bond. Set coat is super high bonding. Now, when I take this back to the hot box, I'm taking my paintbrush with me because I need 2 fingers to do that, to set it down to dry. I lift my finger off and then I paint the bottom because I'm always doing it the wrong way. And you're going to notice I'm painting right up to the edge, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. All right, there's that one. I'm going to take this right back to the hot box. I'll come back and do the lid. I'll be right back. And each time I walk back to the hot box, I bring up the piece that we're going to be working on next. So I got to set that one up to the front. We'll do another cup in a minute. And I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go and paint the edge. And I'm being careful. I don't want to get paint into the hole there. I just want to get all the way around it, because if you start building up stuff in that opening, you're going to find it's very hard to get the straw in later. All right, so I've got a coating on that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to discuss painting all the way up to the edge with you all. So if you look at this cup that I'm actually drinking some water out of right now, you'll notice that it's not painted all the way to the edge. That's because my mouth goes on this part. Now, the epoxies that we use, I use one that's absolutely food safe, and I have one that is food I'm trying to remember what the word is they use. Food compatible, meaning that you can put food on it. It's not a problem. You put it in your mouth. It's not going to hurt you. You're not going to be toxic. So, but I just personally put it down because I don't like the feeling of a thick rim like that up near my mouth. So you can always tape the edge. When we're working on cups, and this is the next one I'm going to show you, is one of our thermal coffee cups. I always go all the way up to the edge. Why? Because they have a lid. Everything that has a lid, I tend to do all the way to the edge because your mouth is not going to sit right on it. So we're going to have a little fun with this one. And I think I'm going to, I really have no idea I did not plan out my colors and patterns and stuff on these because I just wanted them to be fun and kind of patriotic, and I had no idea what I was really going after. So I could do this a solid color. I could do this, I'm going to tell you, I could do it the stripes, but I'm not sure how well those stripes are going to line up, so I may have to put a pattern over it later. So let's try this with the stripes. Now, my first inclination would be to do the stripes this way, but because this is on a taper, I know it will not line up well for that. So I'm going to lay it down here, on here, and we're going to see how well I do. This could be really well. Fortunately, my plan is also to put other stuff on here, so whatever I screw up, I'll fix. Oh my gosh, Cynthia is watching. I haven't seen you here forever. Hey, Maddie, nice to see you too. Wow, I got some people in the house. I'm so excited. All right, so I'm rubbing this with my fingers, and I like to get the foil rubbed on, and I have to always check where I got little places that might not be at its best. All right, now, mind you, I have been doing this since I got in this morning, so all the paint and the adhesive are really fresh. I've been known to pull this off. Usually you want to let the paint dry a good 8 hours, then you let the foil adhesive dry a full hour, and then you come back in. Well, that didn't happen for me today, okay? We had a live. So this is either gonna be really great or I'm gonna have a lot of corrections to make in a little while. And just to make sure I've got it all done, where's my little scrubber? My other scrubber disappeared. I had my soft bristle scrubber that I really wanted, but I will use this one. Because this is already releasing really well. I didn't think I needed the stronger one. Oh, yep, here we go, it's coming off. Wow, look how great that came out. Now, obviously I haven't done the bottom because I didn't want to mess up the pattern. I can go back in, I can do the stripes on the bottom, which would just be smart since it's right here, or I could pick another pattern. Well, I'm going to use the stripes since they're right here. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little flaw too. I had one spot right here. The paint wasn't completely dry and the adhesive wasn't completely dry. It pulled back. So when we take a little break later and we're working on the next steps for this, I'll touch that up. I will make that so you can't see that there. So I'm going to set that one to the side. And now we're going to bring over our kitten. Now, another live, you saw me apply this adhesive, foil and stuff on here. We're going to use our kitty and make it the 4th of July kitty. As you can see, I put press and seal on here, and that was to protect the other pattern when I had wet stuff on the other side. Doesn't matter if I have a little leak on the other side, I can always peel it off. The challenge with press and seal then, though, is having it not come back up into the foil adhesive. So this is our little kitty cat cutout. And I thought it would be fun to kind of do a little bit of a flower stencil on here. It's great. This is one of Artistic Painting Studios flower stencils. I don't remember the name. We're looking to bring it in. So it would help me if I could remember the name, but obviously I have no memory today, so that's not happening. All right. We're going to play with some of our other stencils, our other foils. Gosh, I don't even know what I'm saying. So this is a very small pattern on here, so it's going to take a little work. Hey, Pat, nice to see you. Hey, I'm trying to see who's here. Rose, nice to see you. Gosh, you all are so awesome to be here with me on your Saturday. I appreciate it. Okay, so I've got my stencil on here. And I'm just sort of thinking what I want to do in the background, which way I want to go, because we could go, I think, I'm thinking, and it kind of hurts a little bit. All right, so we're going to do the flowers. We're going to release it in our red glitter stars. Hey, Minetta, nice to see you. So we're going to release the red stars glitter foil. Put that piece of tape over there, get a little bit of foil. Again, this is our little kitty cat cutout. It's one of our newer cutouts that we brought in. And I had a darling lady come in earlier today who's looking for projects, so this could be one of the projects that she finds for her daughter who's attending the local high school here soon. All right, let's get in there, scrub a little bit. I think I actually need to do this because this is a really tiny detail. Hang on just a second. Let me go grab a toothbrush and a tool. Thought I had it sitting here right next to me, but I left it across the table because, you know, yesterday I had nothing better to do, so what did I do? I spent the whole day reorganizing every stencil here in the studio. So if you look at me here, you can see I've got this little this little picking tool. It's not really picking, it's not sharp, I mean. It's got little bald edges on it, ends on it. I've seen these in the mandala kits that they sell like on Amazon and stuff. I don't know what I got this for, but this is really nice to go into the little tiny details because it's not sharp. It doesn't cut up the foil. It just goes in there and rubs in all those little detail-y bits. And that's kind of important because I did this stencil on a pumpkin, I think, in Halloween. And because it's such a fine detail, yeah, not a lot of it got released because I didn't do something like this. Now, I know you all aren't going to be that excited to sit here and watch me fill in all these little details all day. So we may move on to another project after I set this, kind of get this going. But this is working really well. Oh yeah. And I just lift up my foil from moment to moment and I can go around the details here. Make sure things got released. Because I can feel the stencil under here, but I know so many of the openings are so small that they're going to be challenging. So of course I chose the hardest stencil to do on a live, because I'm that smart. I couldn't have picked something a little bigger, a little more open, make my life easier. No. This is how I operate. Every time I think I set myself up for something simple, I realize about halfway through, I've really given myself a challenge. I don't know who else does that. All right. This is gonna be very cute though, because I can see the release under here. It's not a big deal. I mean, I can pull this stencil up, show you all, put it back down, or pull the foil up, show you all, put it back down, and we still have lots of work time and lots of, because this foil adhesive does not dry. I mean, it doesn't ever stop being sticky. I've gone back on stuff months and months later, and it's still sticky, which of course means that whatever you put it on should be top coated, because otherwise you're going to have stuff sticking to it forever. And take it from one who's not good at listening to her own advice, all of a sudden I'll find stuff has dog fur stuck to it, you know, dust from the floor, picks up lint and dust bunnies, it'll pick up anything that I have not cleaned up. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the world's best housekeeper. I hate doing it, so there's almost always dust or something floating around me. Okay, let's go back in here. There's a lot of little details over here. Just that I missed over there. I cannot seem to get all the release on that one. This is coming out very, very cute. I'm very happy with this. And as you can see, I'm just pulling it up to see, because these flowers have so many little details that it takes a little while to figure out where everything is. I'm just going to do some of this. I know it's not, you know, the high life of watching me just doing this. But I'll show you how it goes. So now you can see how nicely that's released in these openings. But you can also see why a little tool like this is really, really helpful. So if you want to know what this tool is, I would look it up under like dotting tool or mandala tool. This one says Kempner Tools USA. I have no idea why I have this, but I'm awfully glad I do. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in there, fill out a few things here. I just want to get as much of these 2 flowers done as I possibly can, and then we'll let it go for the moment. Now I am not going to lift the stencil off of this once I set this aside, because I don't want to have to try to replace it on top of, I don't like to constantly lift things and pull them off and put them back down over the adhesive, especially when I still need to release foil over those areas, because you can dull the adhesive. You know, it's like, think about a piece of Scotch tape. If you tape it and untape it and tape it and untape it and tape it and untape it, eventually it actually does become not sticky. Not because the adhesive is worn out, but because the adhesive has been coated with so much other stuff. Like, you know, whatever it was you were taping it to. Okay. A little bit more back here. Oh yeah, this is coming out so cute. I don't know about any of the rest of you, but I love doing stuff. This is like a happy thing for me. I could sit here all day and do this. I find this very, very relaxing. Except, of course, when I'm on a live and I'm trying to do it fast so you all can see what I'm doing. So now you can see right in here, I missed a couple little spots right in there, but that's fixable because all I do then is take my foil. I'm sure you all have tried this yourself. Go back in, burnish a little more out, go back in, fill in the holes. And your pattern becomes more complete each time you go in and fill in the holes. And I'm getting great release because honestly, I did not, the details are so fine that where I skipped, it's not like the foil even touched the surface. So you see I've gotten that done. I'm gonna set this aside. We'll come back to that a little later. Maybe I'll just go in here and clean up this little edge here. Because that always makes me feel like I've accomplished something if I got all my edges nicely done. There we go. We're going to set that aside for now. Look how cute that's going to be. And that will get finished today. We're going to see what I come up with next. Give me just a second to go back to the hot box. Okay. And here we go here. Ooh, this one is warm. Now, you can see, if you look closely, that my foil adhesive is really, really thick there. So I may very easily pull the foil back off. I may paint all the way down to the paint. I don't know for sure. Part of that's what happens when you kind of hustle things along to work with a live. Now, we could do a pattern background. We can do seashells. We can do starburst. We can do all kinds of stuff, but I think I'm gonna do a texture background. Sorry, I'm flashing everybody the boobs. It's what happens when I lean over the table. Okay, so let me pull these out and see which pattern I think we should do for the background. Now, this is a great one, but I've done it a lot. So let's see what else I got. Flower power. I need something a little on the open side just because otherwise doing this with the repeat and everything will be very, very, very slow. All right, so we're gonna go with this one. And we're gonna do, which pattern is this? I cannot remember. Indian print. And we're gonna have a little fun with it. All right, so let's start up here. And all of these little spots here, if you're not familiar with doing a stencil, and I'll pull this back so you can see, all those little spots there, angle the camera a little better. These are part of the pattern that you use for registration marks. Registration marks meaning when you lift this up, we then have to move it somewhere else. So to line it up properly, you have all these little extra bits that make sure you can line it up correctly. All right, so we're gonna use the red, white, and blue stripes, but this time it's gonna become more of a textural element in the patterning. And because we are dealing with such a surface that's larger than the stencil, I have to cut my foil smaller, and I am going to work to keep it all in one direction. So we're gonna go like this, because I don't want it to set it over here by accident on another surface that has the adhesive, and then I leave an imprint that I didn't want there, that I have to figure out how to hide. So I've got that going in right there. Let's get that. So that will make a great background pattern. And I'm worried a lot less about having all the stars and all the stripes match up, because in the long run, once we put another pattern in the background, you won't see all of it. You won't see if it's not perfect. It'll just become a pattern that completes the look. And I'm loving this. I'm doing a lot of red, white, and blue, a lot of getting ready to celebrate summer kind of stuff. 4th of July is coming up. We just had Memorial Day. I am looking forward to a little summer fun. I don't know about all of you. I'm tired of being inside all the time. Matter of fact, putting up the blow-up pool in our backyard and setting out the beach chairs. And my son's gonna build his model at the patio table, and we're just gonna have an outside day. There. Let's get a little here. And I do know that because I am going to be moving things around, I may have colors that overlap in very peculiar ways. I'm not worried. It'll be fun. If you are the very OCD type, then start from the top and keep all your lines really controlled. That's going to be so. Oh, I missed this little spot there. That's fine. Where we are here. There we go. Now I'm hoping when I pull this, because this adhesive is just really sticky. There we go. I wasn't sure that was going to come off without ripping paint off. Pretty miraculous that it didn't, quite frankly. All right, so now I know, let's check my shape there. That shape is this one, that one's that one. I'm gonna set it right back down. I'm gonna take another little bit of foil. We can get this whole pattern in, because this is not quite the crazy detailed one that I decided to do on the kitten. Somebody call me before I do a live and tell me not to do such tiny detailed stencils and making my own life so crazy. I gotta learn to not do things that make my life harder. And again, if I wanted to be really OCD with it, I could come in with my tool and I could go around all the edges so that the imprint is a little bigger, a little more defined. Don't have to do that. There's nothing wrong with it when you don't. So I'm just doing this on this one spot so that when we lift this, you'll see the slight difference. In the long run, it's all about what you like doing. If you like sitting in here and doing this kind of stuff like I do, then it's going to be fun. If you don't, then you're going to be miserable. I just want to get in the details right there because I almost missed something there. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's coming out great. Come in here. And all I really did is right there where I was playing with it with the tool, I'm gonna push this up so you can see a little better. Right here where it went all the way to the very edge of the stencil, whereas when I just come in with a brush, I get a little bit of a halo. And so it's not quite as sharp and not quite as full. All right, let's get another piece. Come over here. Now, I know some of you have ordered with me before, so you know that when we pack boxes, all these little scrap pieces often get packed into your order, which is kind of cool because it gives you a chance to see some of the new foils. There's always usable surface on them when we send them out like that. And it's sort of like a little extra. Now, if you don't want foils in your packages, you can put that in the notes when you order. If you really want them, say please, 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 and if you have any in this color, I can't guarantee that I will, but I'll try to accommodate. So feel free to ask for scraps or ask me not to put in the scraps. It's up to you. Personally, I like the scraps. I like just getting the little extra bits of stuff to see what the new colors are. Oh gosh, this is coming out so stinking cute. Again, I put so much adhesive on here and it hasn't had that long to cure. I feel like I'm gonna rip the whole thing right off the... Oh! If you ever wondered if the adhesive was sticky, there's your answer. Yes, it is. All right, that, I gotta find my little shape. Okay, now I'm gonna move sideways, so I gotta make sure I can find everything. And that sometimes that takes a minute for me to get the placement. So I have to look to see where that is. Ooh, I'm hot. Having a moment here. Okay, so that, I'm having my own personal springtime right now. There we go. Got that lined up right there, just where it should be. Perfect. I almost missed dotting the center of that piece there too. Get in there. Make sure I get in here with this one. Gotta make sure the center dots show up. It's all part of the design. Ooh. I'm so glad to see everybody here. You guys are giving me such a good time on Saturday. Now, like I said, I'm going to finish up what I'm doing with these right now. We're going to take a little break. My next live will be at 4 o'clock on Artistic Painting Studios page. I will try to remember to put a link on my page to it. That doesn't mean I will. I'm generally good with it, but I have been so forgetful lately. Anybody else find like they're just forgetting everything lately? Because that's me. I feel like, you know, I, honest to God, walk out of the house without my clothes on if somebody didn't stop me. Of course, that might entertain everybody else. It wouldn't be pretty, but it might entertain them. Let's see if I got everything. I just need to get into those little details over here. I could have done that with the scrub brush. I just happen to have the picker closer. Oh yeah, got it all. And as you can tell, our adhesive is really good. Oh, normally it's not quite that sticky, but okay, we'll go with that. because I've got nobody to blame for that except me. All right, I can find that spot, and then I'm going to find the other spot. And it just takes a little practice to figure out where the lineup is. Do not feel bad. You've watched me. Anybody who's watched me on these knows that there have been days that I literally could not get the registration. It would take me forever, and you all watched me do it taking forever. So, you know, and I've been doing these stencils for decades, and it can still just take a moment to figure out the registration. It just is. Okay, coming back in, getting all my little details in. You know, this little picker thingy that I didn't know I had, this might become my new best friend for doing this. I might even have to look up where to get them so I can have them all here in the studio for you, because the more I use this, the more I really like having it. I don't even know what to call it. But I might still just find them and bring them into the studio so everybody can have some fun using them. Make your life a little easier. And my husband just popped in because he's doing some shipping for me. He does not want to be on camera, so that will not happen. He's tiptoeing through with his mask on, and he's beige man incognito, standing right behind me. My poor husband takes so much crap from me. There are days I'm very grateful he puts up with me. Today is one of them. All right, I'm really happy with the way this is coming out. And poor husband is squeezing by me, and I'm pushing him. He's going to take care of the shipments, which I really appreciate, because then I don't have to worry about them. He makes it so that I can do these lives. He is truly a partner here. Okay. Let's see. Make sure I get every little detail that needs to be gotten. Yep, I knew there's a little stuff in there. Where's my little dot in the center? I think we got everything down here. Whoops, I missed one right in the middle, right there. Fortunately, that was an easy fix because it's blue. And the blue was right there. And then I have these I haven't gotten right here. So if I try just to pay attention to where the red stripe is, I'll just come in over here and get at it. And really, this is, on the whole, if I'm trying to match my patterns at all, this foil is, because the stripes are big enough, it's very easy. Okay, pray for me so that I don't rip off paint when I pull this. And I'm trying not to pull straight up because that actually creates more tension. Kind of roll it back a little bit. But I also know if I do it the wrong way, I can rip my stencil. Why? Because I've done it before. It wouldn't be the first time I'd done something dumb. I managed to rip my stencil up. So you can see I'm just fitting the pattern in. Okay. There we go. I need a little piece, another little fresh piece of foil. That much left on here to do with the stripes. Okay, and then we're going to pick a background color. And I am going to let you all, while I finish these last little bits, I'm going to let you all pick the background color for this. So for the background, we got blue stars, we have silver stars, we have red stars, we have the zigzag silver holographic, and we have silver waterfall. I also have this, but I think it might go a little flat behind there, so I was thinking that might not be the best choice. But if you want to use the 3D holographic stars, tell me and that's what we'll use. So I'm not going to just ask you to put in your color choice in the comments, and let's see where we go. Alrighty. Get my little thingy here. What is that? I know that there it is. I knew it was in there somewhere. I just had to find it. Cute. I really am so pleased, just tickled with how well this is releasing and how cute this looks. Put that over there. We got a little bit more pattern over here. We got some a little higher to deal with. Once again, as soon as I finish releasing the pattern, all the stencil all over this castle, then I'm going to be looking to see what your color choices are. So definitely post an opinion. If you don't post it, I can't do it. There we go. Down to our last little bits here. And this is really just coming out very, very cute. I'm really loving how this is releasing and showing up. So let's take this. I had another fresher piece. Oh, I did. It's over here. I set it over to the other side. Wondered why I couldn't find it. A little warm in here with the hot box on, but they fixed my air conditioner today. Now they're going to fix my back door because we've had some water issues with the doors. It's an old building, you know, same, nothing, not an unusual thing to hear that there's stuff that needs to be fixed. Just happens. But our air conditioner had been leaking through the door jamb, which then was making the door jamb go moldy and rot, and so we had to get it fixed, and they fixed the air conditioner for the leaking issue today, and then the new door comes in a day or so. I'm very happy. That will make it much more comfortable in here, and definitely a lot less soggy, which has not been my favorite part of coming into work. Getting rained on by the air conditioner. Okay, so I need to put a little bit over here, and I think I can easily match up the stripes. Let's do that. I'll just go in with my fingers. There we go, just a little details in here, and right there. Let's see, where's, I didn't get that right here. Miss anything? Just this one little spot. I need my little tool because I can't feel it either now. Okay, I think I got it all. I'm just impressed that I didn't get any of the paint off of here. All right, so I'm gonna flip it up for a second. We're gonna look and see what your choice on the color for the background was. Okay. Kathy, nice to see you. Okay, so Jenna is the only one who expressed an opinion, so we're gonna do Silver Waterfall in the background. Thank you, Jenna, appreciate the input, makes my day a little easier. We're gonna flip it back down, go over here, push the other stuff out of the way. Now, I like that this has a very specific direction, and since waterfalls go vertically, I'm going to create this pattern on here in a vertical way, which means in a less mouthy way of saying it, I'm putting the foil on so the striping looks like it's going up and down. So here we go for this. And we're just gonna brush it across here with our hands. And then, where did I really, oh, there's my softer brush. Yay, just in time. The stiffer brush can sometimes scrub too hard and leave scrub marks and things, and that's not what I want to have happen here. Now we're gonna see an imperfect release. We'll probably see a lot of the blue peeking through, and that's all part of the look, which I love. Oh, that's awesome. Jenna, your suggestion was fabulous. It looks great. I'm just getting this little edge down here. I probably didn't put that much foil adhesive right down here because it was at the edge. It might be a little thin in the only place on this whole thing where there's almost no adhesive, but I did get some release, so we're good. I'm going to turn it that way so you can see it. And then I need another little piece just to finish off the top. Oh, I like how this looks. Oh, this is really cute. So now you can see what I mean, that the stripes become a non-issue as the pattern. It becomes more part of the color story and less about having stripes. And look how cute that is. I mean, I am loving this. I might could take a little bit more foil right there because that's the overlay part. And there's I did not go in there quite thoroughly enough to get that lap off. Perfect. And just look how cute that is. And again, very festive. Now we're going to do other things. If you remember, we did this on the other side. So when you get these kinds of cutouts from me, you can use both sides. So we can have them for general summer, patriotic summer. And there's going to be more that happens on here, but we're going to do that in another live later. All right, everybody. Again, oops, let's turn this up this way. Again, I'm going to be on Artistic Painting Studios page in about an hour and a half, if I can keep my hair out of my eyes long enough. And before anybody says anything, my haircut's coming on Thursday, so you won't be looking at like weird, crazy tiger striped hair soon. And so somebody said, "Are you just letting your gray grow out?" Nah, I'm just not in that big a hurry to get to the salon. I'll survive. All right, everybody. I hope you had fun with this. Come to Artistic Painting Studios page at 4 o'clock. And then probably right after that, if you want to see more of what we're doing, I will be right here. It depends on how much I get finished on Artistic Painting Studios page. But my plan is after I finish that live is to come back here on my own page and we will do completing of all of these little projects. All right, everybody, have a great sunny afternoon. Any questions, post them as soon as this is up. I will go back through the feed. I will answer your questions. I will list all the materials that we used today in the captioning. You know what I mean, in the post. Sorry, I'm babbling. When nobody talks back to me, the words just sort of fall on themselves. Anyway, sprinkle this, share the love. We miss you guys. I'm so excited that we're open so we get to see some of your sunny faces again. And I will see you at 4, Artistic Painting Studios page.